Welcome. I'm just giddy this morning. It is Friday, November 20th, 2015. November 20th. We're like a month and a couple of weeks out of 2016. It's crazy. Welcome to Super Organizer Universe Radio. I am your host, James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. Yes, the Super Organizer. The Super Organizer. Welcome this morning. It is about a week before Thanksgiving. Yes. And as you know, I like to give thanks, of course. Before I do that, I want to say good morning to the man who turned on the lights and the computers and the controls, Brian.
Who created the internet, who was the first person on the moon.
Exactly. You have a man of many firsts.
I am.
First and seconds. Can't get the word out.
We were just saying before we get on air what celebrity class I would be.
Yes.
And that's none of those things that I've done. Would classify me as a...
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm a C-list apparently because I'm still moving my way up. But I guess you could be D or F.
I like F.
You like F list?
Anyway, good morning.
Good morning. So, folks, yes, we are going to be talking today. I just want to give a shout out, actually. My guest, I had a scheduled guest who you saw online, and I've been promoting him for last week, Andrew DeBerg. He actually couldn't make it this morning because he has a audition this morning, so he couldn't make it the last minute. We're going to reschedule him for next month, and we wish him luck and to break a leg. This is the industry. I'm like, you go and you do it. I understand. So today we're going to have a fun show for today. We're going to do, it's going to be a life coaching random show. You know, I do a couple of random shows here every once in a while. And this one will be on life coaching issues. Again, going on a theme about you. A couple weeks ago I did a you show, and I'm all about you guys. Not all about me. It's about you. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I give thanks and gratitude, like I always do. And number one, I want to give thanks for Thanksgiving. The day of Thanksgiving, I'll be making food for my family. Some of you guys know this. I do game hens because we don't do turkey. And game hens are cute. I give thanks for game hens. They're like little mini chickens. And you make them, and everybody gets their own little chicken. And if you don't finish it, you can take it home. And it's just really nice. And it's kind of a fun little thing to do. And they're so delicious. They really are. I'll make all the fixings, and it'll be a great time to be around family and Mr. Scrabble, the dog, and everybody. We'll have a good time. It's going to be fun. So I want to give thanks and gratitude that another year has passed, and we are all still here. And we'll be able to get together again next week. Just a little note, and I'll remind you guys at the end also, we will have no show on the day after, on Black Friday. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back the following week, of course, on the 4th. But I'm going to be relaxing at home. What are you going to be doing, Brian, on Black Friday?
Shopping!
Yeah, he's going to do the shopping thing. So I'm like, no thanks.
I have a calendar, and I am not kidding, where I strike the days down for Black Friday.
How funny.
I do not like the principles of Black Friday, where families are being torn apart from other family members to service my needs, but damn it, do I love it. Am I a cause of the problem? Yes, I am.
Yeah, you are.
But if I can fix it myself, yes, I would.
There you go.
But I will be part of that mayhem. I'm not part of the mayhem. I like going out. I'm like a scavenger. I'm like a hyena.
Also, afterwards, you have to go in and see what's left.
I let the lions eat, and then I'm okay with this.
You know, actually, I like that idea. I guess if you're not looking for something specific that you need to have, then you just go see what's left over.
I'm just going. JCPenney so far is having $2 to $5 graphic T-shirts.
Now you make me want to go. Now that actually sounds interesting.
Hot Topic has $10 shirts, and Hot Topic shirts are really good quality.
I know they are.
As much as they get flack from like all the music scenes, everybody loves Hot Topic.
Yeah, well, hello.
Go pick up some $10 shirts, normally priced at $22. Blu-rays are going to be priced at $2.99 and up. So I stock my Blu-ray in my closet. I don't need a TV. I have a decent one. I don't have like the smartest TV, but I get by with what I have. The only thing I enjoy is clothes and Blu-rays. So I'm not there at the door chomping, or it's called champing at the bit. I learned that.
Champing at the bit.
I'm champing at the bit for like an iPad or a TV.
Oh yeah, you don't care for that stuff.
Nope,
so
I am there for Blu-rays, T-shirts, and to walk off the fatty meal that I just placed into my body because I gorge.
The TV thing. The T-shirt thing sounds really interesting though. I'm like, that sounds really interesting. Now you got me all interested.
Well, they're $10 shirts. $10 anything at this point.
I know.
I'm in. Inside Out just came out on Blu-ray. It's gonna be available for $10 at Best Buy.
He's a regular salesperson here, you
yeah,
guys.
right. And if you visit Best Buy on this, but that's what I do. But we're gonna be off next Friday just to verify.
Yes, we'll be off. Yes, to verify. Yes, I
Verify
plan to be in bed watching my DVR.
He'll be watching me on the news, knocking old ladies over
for that one T-shirt. They're both fighting for that one T-shirt that's Star Wars or something, I'm sure.
Yeah. So a hot topic, around this year, they release their best stuff. I don't think they realize. Maybe I think they do it for the holiday season, but then they kind of screw themselves over because they're like $10 shirts, and that's where. But I do. I'm just gonna stop there.
So we're gonna give thanks to all the stores out there that will be open, people who are working, and who will be out there making money to make sure that we can do full consumerism. So there's that too. I also want to give thanks and gratitude to the folks at again AfterBuzz TV and Black Hollywood Live. My show Breaking Into. If you haven't watched any of them, they're on YouTube, YouTube Black Hollywood Live, or on my page, YouTube. Come on, James. The Super Organizer, James Lott Jr. I have them all on playlist. I've done 4 episodes. Last night I had opera singer and vocal talent H. Warren Sharp. He is really good, and you will want. And he actually sings a piece on my show, so you want to see it. But I have 4 great episodes so far. It's been a life-changing experience for me, and I'm just living gratitude. They get to have that, and that's Breaking Into, my show on Thursday nights. And I have a special airing happening this Monday. A documentarian did a movie called Can You Dig This?, which is about urban gardening in South Central Los Angeles. I'm totally excited. I live in South Central. I love gardening. And so the creator, director, and one of the guys who runs I'm blanking out the name of the organization about urban gardening and changing lives in urban areas. So, I mean, I'm totally excited. And that's on Monday at 2 p.m. So I'm very, very excited. And I get to also interview for a show called Spotlight On Monday at 11 a.m. Beth Hall. She's on the show Mom from CBS. And so she's one of the co-stars. So I'll be interviewing her and talking to her for an hour about her life and career. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So there's a couple of things that are coming up for me. And I'm just living gratitude for all of that. And I'm also a shameless promotional whore. So, that's how I do. So that's what we're going to go for today. And we're going to go into, like I said, it's going to be a random show today. And I love these little random shows because it's all about tips and things that we talk about. I go through my blogs, which is the superorganizeruniverse.com, where you can find all of these and more. I have about almost 570 blog posts. 80 blog posts. This January, it will be my 2-year anniversary doing blogs. I can't believe 2 years has gone by. Special shout out to my brother J.R. Lamar, who got me started, and which changed my life also, and I love doing them. So, but the first thing I want to talk about is 9 behaviors that can help in a group dynamic. So sometimes we're all solo or by ourselves, but then there's also times we're in a group. And I feel like sometimes we're busy trying to be ourselves in a group. So you got to find a way to you got to find a way to make it all work out so that the group works well together. Because ultimately, you're one as a group. Makes sense, right? We know it can be challenging sometimes. And I just found in my own experiences, the success of the group depends on every single person's attitude and approach. It really does. Like, it really, really does. It's like what you bring into the group will affect how well the group will work. You want to make sure, number 1, this is one of the 9 behaviors, that you're purposeful in that common goals are pursued. So you want to make sure that when you come in, that's your main goal, is that you want the common thing you're working on to work out. The goals you're setting and whatever the end result is, that's at the very least, that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you're in there, you're purposeful, you're ready. Number 2, this is really important and sometimes very hard, to have openness. That could be really hard because you could say, well, I know this, and that's that. Is this thing on? Crickets, this thing on? That's people. I mean, that's literally how it turns out, because you're just like, well, then there's no openness. You can't really go from there. If 3 of you are thinking one thing, and then that's it. The other 5 are like, well, we want to explore other options. So you got to have openness. You got to have some great things come out of openness. You never know. Number 3, accurate personal understanding of own needs and accurate representation of them to the group. Okay, so what basically it is, meaning being real about your understanding of what you need out of this group, whatever the situation is, and make sure you are representing that. Don't say one thing, but you feel another. Don't be passive aggressive. Things like that. You don't want to do any of that. You want to be real. You want to be like, I'm looking out of this situation. I hope to gain blank, and then actually act that way. That you want to work towards that. Don't say that and then just shut down if you don't hear nothing. It goes back to number 2, openness. So you want to make sure you accurately show who you are, basically, and what you need. Number 4, flexible behavior that is not designed to take others by surprise. Yeah, you don't want to be like one way and then say, surprise, I feel this, or I'm a really nice person, and all of a sudden, no, I'm really mean. You want to make sure you want to be flexible. You want to be, if you have another side to you, or you have an idea that may not sound like something you've said before, that's fine. Let that out, but make sure it works within the context of the group. It works fine. Because you don't want surprises or shocks. That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to work together as a group. Number 5, don't use threats or bluffs. That's a good one too, because you're trying to work together. So to threaten someone, well, if you don't come to my way of thinking, I'm going to do blank. Well, if you don't want to do that, then I'm just not going to join and participate in this. Don't do any of those kind of things where you're just like kind of threatening because you don't feel things going the way you want to go. Or don't say, well, since you said that, I dare you. Okay, do that. Don't bluff somebody. That doesn't do anything either, because they may take you on your bluff, and then you're screwed. You want to be non-threatening. You want to just you want to work together, and threatening and using bluffs does not work well together. 6, devotion to always finding solutions to problems by using logical and sometimes innovative processes. Very important. Things come up, and you want to make sure you always one of your main goals is to find a solution for it. You don't want to create problem out of it. No, just screw the drama. Almost cussed. Screw the drama. You don't want no drama. You want to keep it clean. You want to make sure that you're always trying to find the solution. You're trying to head to that goal, whatever that is, as a group. So you all should try to always look for that, find that solution. And that may come in, and you want to do it in a calm way. You want to do it in a way that's logical and well thought out. It may take some time, and you may have to think of a different way to do something. So that's it could be 2 things there. So it's really interesting. Number 7, dropping stereotypes of others in the group. Yes, do not. Well, I know that you Mexicans don't like to think that way, so I get it, because in Mexico, don't do that stuff, or on the reverse. Okay, so you'll handle all the math because you're Asian. You'll handle all the math stuff. You'll handle all now some may even think that's a good stereotype, that Asians know math. It's still a stereotype, and not all Asians know math. It's still a bad thing to put stereotypes on somebody. So you want to drop all stereotypes of anybody in the group. Oh, you're Indian, so you may don't do that at all. That's just no good. Number 8, we're almost there, kids. Number 8, ideas from group members are given consideration, regardless of the source, and that no hostility is aimed at that person. So someone may come up with something, and you're like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Who is this crazy person? Okay, you may think that, but you don't say it. You don't express it. You're trying to find solutions. Like going back to number 7 and 6, you're trying to find solutions. Your devotion is to find solution. But you want to hear, let them be heard. Let them be heard. Let them be heard. And just imagine, actually, somebody may say something that you didn't think of that's actually really good, too. You never know. So everybody gets ideas. They get to be heard. And then you kind of, in a group dynamic, you try to work it out to see if that idea is a good thing for the group, for that particular project or goal or situation. But let them say their idea and say thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Don't be condescending. Don't be smart-assed. Just go in and be like, okay, thank you. That was interesting. We'll talk about that, or leave it up for debate, or just make sure there's no hostility. That can be hard sometimes too. but try your best not to be hostile about it. And number 9, each person in the group leaves ego out of the process. Okay, that's one of the hardest things on the planet. Ego. Ego can ruin all kinds of stuff. And you have to go in there leave the ego, like the famous We Are the World recording session back in 85. USA for Africa, they had a sign that said, leave egos at the door. It's a big famous story about that Quincy Jones put up. Or Lionel Richie, whatever, somebody put up there. You can't go in this situation in a group with ego. Because again, all those other 8 things, it won't even matter. If you go in there with a chip on your shoulder, or that you go in there going, well, I know best, and I'm going to make them all bend to my will, well, that's not going to really do anything in a group situation. So you want to go in there and just leave it. Just completely leave it. Leave the ego out the door. I say leave ego. Ego does not serve you. I'm telling you, it doesn't. And those are the 9 behaviors that can help a group dynamic. So you can find it on my website. I'll probably post this on my Facebook page, The Super Organizer, so you can see it again. But it's 9 behaviors that can help a group dynamic. You can type it in. I have a whole search thing on my page. You can type it in and see it. So when we come back, we're going to begin the Life Coaching Random Show here on Super Organizer Universe Radio. Oh my God, it's like, you know me, it's Friday. You know, kids, it's Friday. And we'll be right back.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. I host Super Organizer Universe Radio every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me each week as I give you tips on how to organize your life, home life, work life, family, all needs organization, and I'm here to help. Every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Adrenaline Radio, Super Organizer Universe Radio. Organizing shouldn't be sour. It should be sweet.
You might know me, I'm 50 Cent. You may follow my tweets, my Facebook friends. Odds are a few in the 6 degrees separate us. We're that close. What's crazy is 1 in 6 don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. Hunger's too close for us to ignore. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank to see how you can make a difference. From one close friend to another, let's do this. I'm 50 Cent, and together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It was a clear black night.
What's up? This is Warren G, you know what I'm saying? I'm here giving it up for RAD because they do a lot of good things for people. Before you drink, make sure that you got somebody that can drive your butt home so you won't crash or get pulled over and get a DUI. So go ahead and follow the rules and everything will be cool. And don't be no fools. Peace, baby. Warren G.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Time to tune in and log on with Behind the Lens. Join noted film critic Debbie Lynn Elias and a lineup of talented co-hosts and informed guests each week as she goes behind the lens and below the line. We'll take in-depth looks at films and filmmaking with the movers and shakers and up-and-comers of the industry, along with movie reviews, interviews, awards, festival coverage, specialty segments like Tech Talk and Classic Corner. Tune in to Behind the Lens every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Adrenaline Radio.
A little house music in the morning on Friday. I like it. Welcome back. Super Organized Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr. James Lott Jr. James Lott Jr. Organize, 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 organize. That's for you guys out there. Little music. You gotta do a song, Brian. I'm ready to do some lyrics to it. How funny. And again, this is Super Organizer Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. And we're going to do our life coaching random show. Because, I'm a certified life coach. I went to school at Coach Training Alliance. It was a great program. My teacher, mentor was Lori Cameron. Hi, Lori. And I really had a great time. It changed my life. And I love life coaching. And it's all intertwined with organizing and everything. I do both. So I'm going to have Brian spin the wheel.
I'm just going to bring something up real quick.
Oh, dude, bring it up. I love it. I love this. Do it.
I'm getting notifications, and I'm not bothered by it, but I'm wondering who's doing it. From AMC, the movie theater?
Yeah.
That someone's spending money with one of my gift cards.
Oh, my God.
But like with the StubHub card, I mean. So I'm earning points.
Oh.
While they're making...
Oh, my God, it's so funny.
So I'm getting alerts like, hey, thank you for purchasing tickets to go see the Hunger Games. And I'm like, I don't think I'm at the Hunger Games. I'm pretty sure I'm here right now. But just to kind of...
That's kind of scary and nice at the same time.
I just got a $10 reward.
Hey, okay.
Whatever they...
I mean...
If they took my card and then thought, there's money on this.
Oh, that's so funny.
I have my card in my wallet. I just checked it. But
That's very, as you know, and folks, you guys know this, I'm going through a fraud thing myself right now. So with my card, but that's kind of weird. That's kind of like almost like you lose and win.
I don't lose anything.
I mean, but you win. But
or the little thing that hangs off my keychain. Anyway.
I mean, lose. Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I love that. Oh. Okay. We're at H is for honesty. That's interesting. Go to that one. So, here's something that I've read somewhere, and the phrase was, "You can lie to everyone else, but you can never really lie to yourself." And that's so true, because you can go out there and present yourself as however you want, but deep down, you know what's going on, and you know the truth, and you can't run from yourself. You really can't. I mean, you can try, but you're connected to yourself, so you can't run from yourself. Like physically, you can't do it. Mentally, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Spiritually, you can't do it. However you feel, you can't do it. So I always talk about being honest, and I always talk about being honest in the context. Well, you should be honest in everything, of course, but honest in the context of bettering your life. How can you better your life or have the best life you can if you're not honest with yourself? Think about that for a second. I mean, it's really true, because you need to honestly look at a situation or situations. You just have to. You have to look at them a certain way. So you have to really look at them so you can actually effectively make change in your life, right? Being honest aligns you with the power of strength. Be objective when looking at your limitations. Be real about your talents. Don't lie about your abilities. Be forthcoming about the things that make you feel embarrassed. If you need outside help, I'm telling you, a life coach, a therapist, a friend, whatever, get it. Do you have the answers within you but are afraid to acknowledge them and accept them? That's a big one too. Well, you kind of know what's going on. You kind of know what you need to be doing or need to do, and you're afraid to do it. It could be a job situation. It could be a relationship. It could be a home. It could be something small like your hair, or or changing your clothes, or it could be a dog. I don't know. It could be anything that you may know the answer, but you're afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid to actually accept the real truth and go on. And so you just kind of go on the same way. You have to. It's gotta be like, gotta be true to yourself. Gotta be true to yourself. Be honest. Honest. Let's go to the next one. Spin that wheel. Oh, look at why you procrastinate. Oh my gosh, like it's all the themes are just coming up they come the same way.
A, if you wear shirts. B, if you live in a house. Everybody procrastinates.
Yes, they do. And so, see, I'm the opposite, folks. I do everything now. And if you guys know me, and Brian, you guys know me, I'm just to just do it. So folks always like, James, you do 10 different things. I do 10 different things. I don't want to procrastinate. I want to do it now. I always have to pace myself. So I'm the opposite. I'm a little bit of the other extreme. So I have to pace myself. So, and that's actually a great problem to have, obviously. I have dreams and aspirations and things, so, and not everything that I do is huge either. I can do smaller things and kind of work it out. But the point for you guys and girls, women, men, ladies, in between, I don't know, what are your dreams? Do you have any dreams? Do you have any things you want to accomplish? And really think about what is stopping you from going to that dream. Is it language in your head from someone else? Is it somebody saying something to you? Is it your own stopping? Are the things that are stopping you, are they for real? Are they legitimate? I say, look at that. I would say also write down. You know I'm all about writing on this show. Write it down. Write down a list of pros and cons on the situation. Look at it. Just look at it and see what speaks to you. And procrastination, of course, can be about anything. And I always feel like you should live, because you're not promised the next second. This could be my last broadcast. Now, it won't happen, of course. I believe that I'll be around for the rest of my unnatural life. But just in case it is, I can look back at my life and say I didn't procrastinate on anything. I took care of a lot of stuff. And that's a great feeling to have, kind of. Just that, you don't want to have the I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or what might have been. And you also want to look at what obstacles are you putting in front of you that's your reason to procrastinate. Because we can make up 8,000 reasons not to do something. We can. I've done it before. I know. Believe it or not, I've done it, so I know. It's crazy. So look at why you procrastinate. Let's spin the wheel. Oh. Make your bed every day. I make my bed every day, kids. I do, every day. And I feel better. I really do. I love coming home. The rest of the house could be a mess, but I come home and my bed is made. My pillows are propped up and everything. I'm so happy.
If I make my bed, where are my clean laundry clothes going to go?
We can go on top of your bed, on top of your made bed.
No.
So you do it. I know a lot of folks who don't do it. They're like, well, I'm going back in it later on tonight. I'm like, nah, that's not a good excuse. Like, make the bed, folks. Make it. Next, let's spin that wheel. Ooh. God, this is really funny. The themes are just, oh, yeah. The themes are extra notch. The truth about fear. This is really, I'm seriously, I'm just scrolling through my 500 blogs, and it's just dropping when he stops. It's really interesting. Okay, fear. Fear can stop us dead in our tracks. Fear can keep us moving. And we know that stuff. Fear can keep you from moving forward. Fear can make you doubt your abilities and competencies. We know that. I'm just here to tell you, I had a big discussion with a friend of mine not too long ago about fear, and he was trying to use it as motivation. To me, I don't think it's motivation. For me, fear is not productive. It has no place in my life. And I try, and I'm not there completely yet. Of course, you have fears on things, and things make you nervous. But I'm trying to get to the point one day where I don't have fear. I'm pretty fearless anyway, but I want that I have no fear on anything. And that when a situation comes up, you just handle it. You believe in your ability. If you've done the homework and you've done this stuff and you're up in a situation, you know you can handle it, you just handle it. Or to go in it and not worry. Just go in and just and see what happens. And try to go without having fear. Try to work through fear. Because, we all get fearful. But the fear won't go away. We know that anyway. It won't go away. So you have to, and really it will only grow if you let it. So I just say, whatever it is, just do it. In many cases, it's irrational. A lot of times it's just the unknown. And once you work on it or face it, I say that in quotes, the fear will go away. How many times have you gone through somewhere you look back on it now, you go, God, why was I so nervous about that? Why was I so scared about that after you tried it? I want you all to be your most authentic self, of course. So I want you guys to I just want you to push through the fear like I am and just kind of see what's going on out there and try to push through the fear. Brian, spin the wheel. Ooh. It's not cheesy to give thanks. How funny. And I do that every episode of this show. I love giving thanks. I do. I love it. And on Thanksgiving, this is great. A quote from Coach Bobby. It's easy to state what is wrong. I challenge you to tell me what is right and good about today. That's a good challenge. Think about it. We can wake up in the morning, and I can already tell you, my eyes are tired because I'm not getting enough sleep. My knees are cracking because I'm old. I get out of bed. I didn't get a good dump this morning. You know, you get anything. You can just go. You can go on and on about what's going on in your life. How about you wake up and go, wow, I opened my eyes today. Thank God, even though my knee cracked, I still was able to get out and walk. The dump part, I can't really help you on that one. A good dump is really good, so I can't really help you on that one. But you have the ability to go into a bathroom that you have in your home that you're living in, that you're able to pay for. That's thanks also. Every day I try to stop and think of one thing that's good in my life. And I have a lot of good things in my life, so I try to think of one good thing. Because, I mean, we're all stressed out. And there's a lot of pressure and a lot of strain. And I just try not to add to it. I mean, just putting out in the universe, I don't want to add to it. So I try to find positive things to look for. And, yes, some days are harder than others. Trust and believe. But part of the growing process is to find the good even when it seems buried. And I'll think about that for a second. Chew on that moment. Sometimes you're like, there is nothing good about this day at all. I challenge you to find something good then. That's the days you got to pull deep and see what's going on. Because I have decided, myself, James Lott Jr., the super organizer, that I will not let the universe bog me down and make me sad, bitter, or angry. I'll be smiling through my gap teeth for the rest of my natural life. And we'll be back with some more random life coaching thoughts after this. Super Organized Universe Radio.
Hey, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for RAD. I'm here to remind you that drunk drivers are still a major killer of young adults in this country. So always choose a designated driver, and remember, music lives, you should too.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Do you love leather? Do you own a piece of fine leather furniture? Do you love the way it feels when you sit in it? Do you want to keep it that way? Because my name is Chris Lawler, and I own Leather Care Services. I'm in the business of restoring and maintaining leather furniture so that you love it as much in 10 years as you did the day that you bought it. Call me at area code 562-693-7676. Remember, Leather Care Services, saving cows one hide at a time.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
When gardening is part of your life, it brings so much. Healthy eating, the freshest, most local produce, and playing in the dirt. At BonniePlants.com, you'll find all you need to succeed. When you grow Bonnie veggie and herb plants in beds or containers, you'll know where your food comes from. Homegrown veggies and herbs ready for cooking, eating, and enjoying. And you did it. So get growing with Bonnie Plants.
Hard at work for over 60 years, Dram watering tools have been the professional's choice for quality and durability. Now you can create the softest shower of rain, 9 water patterns for a variety of uses, or a lush green playground. Quality you can depend on for a lifetime. Dram, the professional's choice for lawn and garden. Available at a fine garden center near you.
Oh, I'm back on. Hi, James Lott Jr. This is Super Organized Universe Radio. I was a bit James Lott Jr. James Lott. Organizing. I was never a rapper. I'm feeling very musical today. Because, there's music in everything. Music in walking, music in dancing, music in talking. It's a musicality in everything.
Music in movies and commercials.
Everything. Yeah, well, yes, that's you.
Music makes the world go round, especially on Black Friday. Black Friday is happening next week.
You are so into Black Friday. You're ready. You almost talked me into it.
I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I'll be the one knocking you over to get that last T-shirt.
I don't know you at that point.
You don't know.
I know you as I'll say hi to you, but
other than that, you're like
you and me for that Weezer shirt.
I don't really, and you're bigger than I am. Dang it, and younger.
You know what's funny? What my problem is on Black Friday shopping is that all the other fatties like me get there before I do. So all the 2XL shirts
they're gone.
Yep.
Yeah, no, trust me, I understand how it is too. I'm a big boy myself. Okay, let's spin that wheel. Oh, it's okay. That's what it says. It's okay. Just know that sometimes, I like this. Sometimes when you're cleaning out and organizing, that problems can be unearthed as the layers are peeled back. And we know this. You haven't touched that room in 15 years. So now you're touching it. And you may clear out a section that was filled with books or papers or clothes, and then you see half the floor is gone. Which means you get the floor replaced. I mean, so you're gonna see things sometimes, because you didn't look at it, you didn't take care of it, you didn't see it. Things come up. You gotta stay calm. It's gonna be okay. Sometimes you want to get organized. As you're getting organized, you realize you have not enough shelving space, or the shelves you thought you had are rickety, or they're just old and need to be replaced. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay because now you're handling it, and you're going to handle it. You're seeing. It's better to see. Ignorance isn't bliss. I'm sorry. It seems people think it is. It's not. It's okay to see what's going on so you can properly assess your life, because you're trying to get a better life. You're trying to make the life that's good for you, that runs smoothly. So you need to see everything. So it's okay to see everything. You want to see it all so you can actually work it out. So it's okay. Spin the wheel. Oh, how to make a good first impression. That's something. I like to think I make a great first impression. I think I'm wonderful. Oh my God, I'm just great. But first impressions are very important because a lot of times that's it. In most cases, you don't get a chance to make a second or third or fourth. It is true sometimes you can have a bad first impression or a poor one. And then through the process of getting to know a person, you're like, oh, you're actually way nicer than I thought you were. You're way more efficient than I thought you were. I mean, it can happen. But even with that first impression is still there. It never goes away. So I feel it's very important. Making a bad first impression creates an uphill battle for you to turn it around. And like I said, you just don't, sometimes you don't get another chance. So here are 5 ways I feel to make a good impression is really good. 1, that was a horrible sentence, but just forgive that part. 1, a firm, non-sweaty, non-clammy, not too long handshake with full eye contact and a nice smile. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm James Lott Jr. And just a nice firm handshake. I love a limp handshake. Will make me cry. It makes me cry. As a man, it makes me cry. But you're another man. Number 2, don't sit down until you're invited to do so. It shows that you have manners. I'm all about manners. 3, if you're going in for like an interview or something, or for a job, or you're looking for something, make sure you ask quality, probing questions about the position or the space, whatever it is you're looking for, and you're there to meet with the person. Make sure they're quality. Make sure they're probing. Make sure they're good. Let them know you're really interested. While being super eager, of course. Number 4, impress them with your knowledge. If you're in an interview section, impress them with your knowledge of their company. Or if it's a person, impress them with some things you may, benign things you may know about them. Oh my God, It's great to meet you. I love you on that show. You do great work on there. That's nice. People like that. That's kind of nice. They kind of go, oh, okay, thank you. Number 5, always prepare to engage in some sort of small talk. Don't be offensive or talk too much about your personal life. Now, last week we had the whole thing about questions you asked about how, tell me about yourself, and now we had that whole talk about that. Yeah, in the age of too much information and the age of I'm keeping it real, don't be too real. This is a first impression. You're just meeting. You want to show them that you're pleasant, that you're non-threatening, that you're nice. Just like you're a regular person and you're meeting them. And you just want to say hi. It's nice to meet you. How's it going? That's all. I just think, a nice smile, a good handshake, all that stuff just really works within the context of making a good first impression. And showing some interest in them, that helps also. So, good luck to you guys out there. If I ever meet you, make sure you make a good first impression on me. I gave you the tools to do that. Spin the wheel. Stop saying things like, I don't. I don't. I don't. Like for me, I used to say I don't do poetry. I was never into poetry growing up at all. I was never into it. I like some poets, but I wasn't into it. It wasn't until later that I learned I had some poets that I really liked, like Paul Monet and a few others that I really liked in the 90s that I got into, but I was never into poetry. I've been a writer since I could pick up a pencil. And so it was always about stories and my perspective on things. Poetry was always like this whole different animal to me. It was kind of like, oh, okay. But like I said, in my early 20s, I came to like some poetry and some poets. And there were a few writers that could write things I could relate to. So it was kind of fun. In my 30s, I kind of had an aha moment. And then I actually was like, no, actually, I like some forms of poetry. And an extension, spoken word, which is a kind of a form of that. And it's really funny because in a way, when I start looking back, James, you've always liked poetry on some level. Rap music. Hello? Wake up, James. Is this thing on? Rap music came to be when I was in my teen years, back in the early 80s. So much of those early songs, because I'm not talking about the ones today, but the ones back then, because today the songs, they don't get me started on those. But the ones back in the day, literally, okay, folks, I'm just going to say this for a second. Literally, I heard a song a couple of years ago, and the main lyrics were Versace, 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 Versace. Now, I like me a booty bass song every once in a while, and it was kind of fun. But there's no poetry in that, obviously. And that person's making money, of course, off of that. But back in the day, oh, you got a little comment, Brian?
I had a Drake song. I don't like Drake.
Yeah.
Because he rhymed buffet with A. And I thought that was lazy. But I thought that reminded me of it. I was like, I love rap.
Yes.
But then I was like, he was like, something, I'm at buffet. And then he says something else and he goes, A. And I was like, all right.
Exactly. It's not poetry like it used to be. Like, it's not. Rhyming was a thing back then. Like, it was a whole thing.
Go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun. So I realized that a lot of these early songs were forms of poetry. And if you took away the music in many of them, the lyrics were very poetic. And they really are. I was a big fan of the late Gil Scott-Heron. He's somebody that he's just a hero to me in terms of what he spoke on. He was an excellent spoken word artist and activist. Many of his songs changed my life in the way that I still feel about it really. He has an album that came out before he died called I'm New Here. And that album I play is a song called Running. And the lyrics, I play it all the time. The lyrics are so good. Because he uses phrases about running from and running to and giving a man a run for his money. I mean, the phrasing is just, the lyrics are so good. And so that's just something that I was like, Stevie Nicks, one of my favorite artists in the world, her songs are poetry. Landslide, Rihanna, I mean, Dreams, she wrote for Fleetwood Mac. I mean, they're all forms of poetry. Even Stand Back that she did with Prince, like in the 80s. They're all poetry. Prince, poetry. Many of his songs, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, that song is a poetic song. It's a beautiful song. When Doves Cry, I mean, also Michael Jackson. I mean, you can go to all of them. All the way back to like Bob Dylan, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Peter, Paul and Mary, Carole King. I mean, they're all poetry. Motown sound, poetry. I mean, it's just all these forms of poetry. So I realized I had to stop saying I don't do poetry, because literally I was doing poetry in a way my whole life. So one of the things that changed my life was going to the New Yorkers Poet Cafe in Lower Manhattan in New York. And I went and I saw spoken word artists and poets there. And New Yorker means Puerto Ricans in New York. So that's kind of a group of the phrase. It's an alphabet city. All the streets are different alphabets down there, and it's a lot of fun. And I watched these artists up there and the way their delivery and what they were talking about and how they said it. It was so mesmerizing. That's the only word I can think of. And it was just such a warm thing. And now I write spoken word stuff. And you'll have to watch my my web series I'm working on right now. Because promotion, the Really Quick James Lott Jr. show, I literally do some spoken word stuff on there. So you'll be able to see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's go to the wheel. What's this? I didn't stop. I didn't spin the wheel again. I didn't stop. It stopped in a weird spot. There wasn't anything. Oh, this is a good one. The biggest lesson that I've ever learned. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? There's a whole thing behind this. Lessons learned. You recognize mistakes, observe what works, document it, and then share it. That's kind of what they always say about learning lessons. I've learned so many. The biggest lesson I've ever learned was that there is a lesson in every situation. If I had a microphone that wasn't attached, I'd drop it on the floor. That's the biggest lesson I've ever learned. That there's a lesson in every situation, good, bad, and different. It's really funny. And it's just over the years, I've learned so many lessons. It's crazy. I've shared some of those lessons here with you on the show. I do it on my blogs. I do it on my TV shows. I talk my friends in person. There's a lesson in every situation that can be applied to just about anything. I mean, it sounds kind of simplistic. I know. It sounds like, well, okay. But this lesson wasn't always known to me. I didn't know that always. I had heard similar thoughts like that over the years from various people, but the lesson really didn't click for me until age 40. When as many of you guys, longtime viewers know, I changed my life at 40. And that's when I knew. I mean, when I got it, it made sense. There's a lesson in every situation. So I guess aging, which yields tangible proof of how your life has been, because you can literally just look back, and for many of us on Facebook, and Twitter, and then before that MySpace, and before that Polaroids, you actually have you have lessons right. You have all your life is right behind you. You can look at it, so it really does help. So I've always been a person who pays attention to my life anyway. I've always been a person who pays attention to what happened in my life. So the leap of believing this wasn't too hard for me. But I know folks out there who don't pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on in your life. Pay attention to what happens, good and bad. There's a problem, an opportunity in it. I swear to everything that is holy that this is the good lesson for you guys. We're going to come back in a few moments, do our last segment here on Super Organized Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hey, neighbor, get some sod put in?
Yeah, it's Marathon.
Yeah, that's what I got. But yours looks so much greener and thicker than mine. What's going on? I'm going to call the growers.
Southland Sod Farms, may I help you?
My Marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Are you sure yours is Marathon?
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search. We don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms lead you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors at the yellow pages. Or call 1-800-4-MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800-4, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com.
Hey everybody, Jamie Lee Curtis here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. What should you do to stop a friend from driving if they've been drinking? Answer, whatever it takes. Think before you drink. Designate before you celebrate. Choose a designated driver. Remember, friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Super Organizer Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. SuperOrganizerUniverse.com is my blog. Where all this is coming from, we're doing a life coaching random show. And I want to expand on the last thing I just talked about, which was the biggest lesson I've ever learned, which is there is a lesson in every situation. During the first 40 years of my life, there were many times when I didn't view situations as lessons. I always saw them as something that was done to me. I would get so angry or sad or hurt, and I couldn't look beyond those feelings to see the bigger picture. So when at 40, I decided to started my journey of self discovery and major overhaul. I learned with help a bunch of lessons starting how to look at things, and getting help was key also for me. It was like getting help that's a great thing. I had no problem. One of the major things that I learned is that we call people into our lives. And you could look at it and go, wait a minute. I mean, I called that person who beat me last year in my life. Or well, in a weird way, I do believe that you call people into your lives through whatever your situation is, whatever your inner feelings are. I'm not saying that you deserved to be hit or that you called that person in, there was a drunk or whatever was going on, or that you lost that job or none of that kind of stuff. Just that it's you have your feelings, you're going along in life, and however you are at whatever given time, different kinds of people are attracted to that. And they come into your life and you let them in. That's actually, going back to being honest, you let that person in for whatever reason, and you went through a situation. But what I learned is that's still a good thing, because if you got out of it, take away the stuff from it. Like, okay, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go through that again. That wasn't good. And make you a stronger person. Another one is that some people, jobs, homes, have a season. I always call it a season. And aren't meant to last forever. If you have some friendships, you think, wow, we're going to be friends forever. And then you go away. And nothing bad really happens. You just kind of drift apart. Nothing bad. And if you saw them in the street, you say, hi, how are you? But some people are meant to be in your life for that particular job. I have friends who have a particular job, and you all hang out together afterwards, and you guys do fun things. You go party together. I was 20 years old. We did all that together. But it was fine. They may not be your friends at 40, and that's fine. You get a house, you love it. Something happens, you gotta leave. Maybe that house wasn't meant for you to be in for the rest of your life. Maybe now you live in a better house, or a bigger house, or a house that suits you better in the way your lifestyle is, because your lifestyle's changed. So I try to look at things where, again, it's a lesson. There's lessons in everything. Think about it. A bad relationship can sometimes lead to a great job that led to a fun apartment that leads to meeting the love of your life. Everything's connected. It can totally happen that way. So, there's ebb and flow in our lives always, but there's a lesson in all of that. And again, for every problem, there's an opportunity. So true. So every person, every job, every decision, every movement, every situation is an opportunity for valuable life lessons. The bad, the good, the horrific, the messy, the wonderful, the surprising. You get the point. There's a lesson in every situation, and it taught me a new way to navigate through the world. I am so much happier too. And I just invite you to think about that because I'm learning lessons every day, still learning lessons. The ending hasn't ended. So just think about that. Now, that's the biggest lesson I've ever learned. I've learned lots of lessons because I'm old, but that's the biggest lesson I've ever heard that covers everything. Let's spin the wheel. Ooh, that's a good one. It's titled, Huh? What do you mean? Communication is one of the major things that could change everything on everything. That's another big sweeping one. Communication breakdowns happen all the time. And there are many types of failures. One type is not being on the same page. We know that one. That's meaning you're saying one thing and the other or others don't understand what you mean. So the most important strategy on that one is when teaching or communicating a task, idea, or subject is to assume the audience or the reader or the person you're sitting next to or in front of knows nothing. But also at the same time, never underestimate their intelligence. So you don't want to talk down to them. You just want to make sure it's clear. So even when you think you've communicated something clearly, I know I need to make sure I follow up, make sure I actually did. I think it's just said actually 5 times in that sentence, but you know how it goes. So one of the ways I think I try to do that with my people in my life is to speak as clearly as I can. And I got a big mouth, and my voice is deep, and you can hear me. So that's always a good thing, too. But speak as clearly as you can. Make sure the volume of your voice is loud enough to hear and to be audible. Try to be as succinct, which means just to the point, as you can to convey what you're trying to say. Edit yourself. Sometimes too many words can confuse a person. So you want to make sure you have your point, and you're trying to convey that point. Know the subject so you speak on it. And then ask the person who's listening or group that's listening, did they get what you mean? There's no problem with saying, do you understand what I said? And if they didn't, give them a chance to ask for clarification. Because you want to make sure you're on the same page. So good communication really is the key. We're going to do one last one before we go. Spin the wheel. Go. This is actually really funny. It goes along with this. Real listening. So this is really funny. So we'll end on this one. Make sure you quiet your mind and you listen. Stay present in every conversation. Listen. That's all I got to tell you. It's really that simple. Calm it all down and be present in your conversations and listen to what they're saying. Active listening is very important. Just listen to them. Just listen. Because you'll begin to, when you start doing that, when you start practicing that, you'll see how noisy your mind can be. You got to calm it down. When you're in something, focus. And that was our random show today here on Adrenaline Radio. I want to give thanks to them and Brian today for spinning the wheel. He did it for me, so it was great.
I was going to say, if you want me to spin it again, I put it away already.
Yeah, it's done. No, we're done. I say that's it. Our show's over. We came to the hour of life coaching, you guys. I am a certified life coach. I have letters after my name. I have a Facebook page called A Lot of Help. That's my life coaching arm of my business. And you can go on there and find all kinds of great little tidbits and tips, and you can contact me there also. But of course, on the interwebs, I'm at the Super O on Twitter and Black Hope LA on Twitter, and it's BLAKHOPLA on Twitter. On Facebook, the Super Organizer page, my fan page, James Lott Jr., and of course the Lot of Help page. The blog, the superorganizeruniverse.com is where all these came from. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, my website, thesuperorganizer.com. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Give thanks to everybody you love, and be careful out there when you're traveling. Be careful and be safe. Take care.